All right. Here are the questions from the internets. Gustavo asks, why do you think Bill O'Reilly's interview with Obama was unpatriotic? You've insulted Bush way worse than O'Reilly. Oh, you know what? I'm so glad this guy asked this, because I heard O'Reilly and Joe Scarborough asked this. You've insulted Bush way worse than O'Reilly's insulted Obama. Yes, but not to his face. That's the difference. People are so fucking stupid. I mean, yes, you're right. I called Bush a retard and every other thing. But if I went to the White House and was sitting in the Oval Office talking to Bush, I would not talk to him that way, because I would have respect for the office. And when you talk to the president, even if you don't agree with him and don't like him, you let him finish a sentence. Everyone in the world, by the way, everyone in the world obeys this rule except Bill O'Reilly. Other heads of state, John McCain, it doesn't matter. Everyone treats the president differently than you treat a guy at the corner bar.
But it's not like any of us, principally the president, didn't know that before he agreed to sit down with Bill O'Reilly. So why did Obama do it in the first place?
Right. Well, because he wanted to reach people. Why did, you know, well, same reason he goes on, you know, whatever shows he goes on.
Well said, well said.
Do you think, thank you, thank you, man who can only speak in dick jokes. Do you think it's time for a constitutional convention? Kevin.
Yes, absolutely, Bill. Here's what I think. No, I have no idea what that means.
I do. I mean, Thomas Jefferson said every 20 years you kind of have to...
A revolution, he said, not a constitutional
Well, he said you have to,
convention.
you know, refresh the blood of patriots.
But what do you want to change the Constitution now?
Oh, well, I'd like to get rid of corporate personhood. That would be like number one. We could relook at the Second Amendment, since when they wrote it, it was about muskets. The Senate could go.
My guess, unfortunately, though, is that if you had a constitutional convention right now, given the current political makeup of the country, you would end up with a slightly different result than the one that you would like to see.
Right.
A cap on spending, all those great kind of things that
I'd like
would be really good.
I'd like equal access to a high-quality education for every child in America. Guaranteed.
This one is for you, I think. Freshie says, many of CNBC's editorial rants sound like something one would hear on Fox News. Why is that?
Well, I disagree with the premise, actually. I don't think you'd hear a lot of rants on CNBC that are totally similar to Fox News. I think we're actually very different.
Although the teabagger movement really started on CNBC with that Rick Santinelli rant.
Rick Santelli, yes, he did start it. I give him credit for starting the Tea Party movement.
So you like it? So you like the Tea Party?
I like the message of fiscal restraint, absolutely. And I would say that actually what I see on other networks is a lot more talk about social issues, which I think what was so successful about the Tea Party movement was focusing on fiscal issues and getting rid of the social issues.
Until they stop eating all of that,
Agreed.
all of that, and
Agreed.
all of that, it's just bullshit.
I agree with you 100%, but at least we can have that conversation now, I think, for the first time in a long time. And, you know, the nation, we don't define ourselves by abortion and gay rights. Why do we define our parties that way? I don't get it.
Well, it's interesting because...
Wasn't the question originally about CNBC?
Yes. Why? What? Yeah, yes.
Well, then we started about the Tea Party.
You think CNBC sounds like Fox News?
Absolutely. I mean, financially, I mean...
We're not talking about the 10 Commandments on the front of the
No, but I mean, just
courthouse.
Financially, you know, I mean, your show, Power Lunch.
CNBC.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely...
Doesn't sound like it's inviting in the poor. On that discussion, you know, Power Lunch.
We believe in economic liberty and free market capitalism as the best path to prosperity. Capitalism is what made this country great, and we embrace it and love it and support it.
I don't think anyone disagrees with that. I don't think any party in this country is anti-capitalist.
Okay, so then I fundamentally disagree, though, with the premise that we sound like other networks that want to focus on things like 10 Commandments on the...
You don't think Obama's a socialist, do you?
No. But he's extremely liberal. He's the most liberal president we've had.
What is liberal about this man? I am so clueless about where you get this.
That makes two of us.
I mean, tell me why he is so liberal.
Because he believes the government can solve so many problems that it can't.
Healthcare, is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
absolutely.
But healthcare, we do know that the status quo of healthcare
Was not acceptable. Absolutely not.
Would just explode the debt, which is what you care about more than anything.
Look, healthcare.
The chart went, under Clinton, when they tried to solve it, it was like 8%.
Yep.
And then it got up to about twice that now, like 16%. It was on path to get up to like 30%. So something had to be done.
Yes.
That's why he attacked it first.
And indeed, most companies around the country were telling Barack Obama for all of 2007, 2008 that he needed to do something to solve this problem for them because their costs were spiraling out of control.
The problem is the conversation starts in the wrong place. It's should employers provide health care or should the government provide health care? And the answer is neither. We buy our own car insurance. We buy our own life insurance. We should all buy our own health insurance.
We buy our own car insurance because the government forces us to buy car insurance.
Yeah, well, I disagree with that too. Yeah.
But what about the 40, 50, 60 million people who can't afford to buy health insurance? That's sort of what this is about.
If the government weren't so involved, it would be cheaper and far more affordable.
Well, but
Chapter 8.
Really? It's the government that's jacking up the prices? Isn't it more the insurance companies? Doctors who are entrepreneurial, hospitals that are for-profit.
Bill, I think you should ask Matt how well untrammeled deregulation worked in the financial market, and then tell us how it would apply in the healthcare market. How about that?
And that's absolutely true. I mean, look in the health insurance industry. I visited a hospital in Bayonne, New Jersey, where 50% of their administrative staff is devoted to chasing down claims from insurance companies. How can that possibly be efficient? That doesn't make any sense.
It's
You have
not.
all these different insurance companies. There has to be some kind of regulation that standardizes this process and makes it sensible.
Just in general, the fact that we spend like half of what, we spend twice rather what they spend in France and they get a better result. Well, and almost every other modern industrialized Western democracy has some sort of Medicare for all. Why are they all wrong?
Because
They're
choking on it.
Are?
Their budgets are. Why do you think?
All of them?
Yes.
Really, they're all choking. France
Germany's
is
trying to cut back on the services that they provide.
Germany's
France
not
is
choking.
trying to cut back on the services
Not
that
choking.
they provide. When you look at their healthcare spending and on their spending for, absolutely.
They're
they are
choking.
absolutely, yes.
Healthcare is
They're
a percentage of the national per capita income. It's much
But
lower
what about their
in those
budget?
countries.
You keep talking about the per capita income. It's smaller, but when it comes to their budgets, they're spending bigger percentages of it on healthcare.
I don't think that's true, actually. I think we actually spend a much greater percentage of our national...
Of our GDP, yes. Of our federal budget, no.
Let's eat some chicken.
Let's eat some chicken. All right. Except for one guy, you were a great audience. Thank you very much.